Hello, everybody, and I hope we are having a great start to this school year. I am here to just go ahead and explain the home and school connections and the advantage of, incorporating home and school when it comes to learning English language. So, with that, we all know that the role that the family and community practices have on the influence that it has on a student is extremely important. Why? Because a student is a sponge. Our students are sponges and they're going to absorb everything that is going on around them. We know that for predominantly, students are born learning and understanding the language that is spoken at home. That has become their native language because it is what they're hearing, it is what they're used to using to communicate. So having an understanding and seeing the importance of having that family and the community practices have buy-in on our students learning English is essential and key to ensuring that our students are being immersed in the language and not just getting it for the 90-minute periods that we have them for to really focus on these English language practices. This also leads me to that we can't just erase our students' backgrounds. We can't just erase their heritage, which leads me to saying that our classrooms need to be reflective of that. Our students should see themselves, where they come from, their culture, represented in our classrooms, right? Across the board, diversity, inclusivity. This leads me to explain to you the importance of having a classroom where students can see themselves represented. It allows them to feel seen and not to feel like they're being erased, right? That all of their thoughts and their cultures and the stuff that's been taught to them by their families is not being erased and we're trying to fill it in. No, we are going to incorporate it. Many times we can find that using some of these tools, right, a celebration, Cinco de Mayo, we can have our students bring in a song that is representative of their culture and have them translated in the class. This connection between culture, their native language, and bringing it into the classroom and using it as a tool is essential and will help us gain our students to buy in on what we're telling them and what we're preaching to them. Because as long as they can communicate with their peers, they will be a little hesitant, but what we're trying to do is say, hey, you knowing and understanding a different language is great. So let's use that. Let's use what they know, that prior knowledge, to help push our new language and what we're trying to do. So some strategies and for community and family engagement, building that family and community and school partnership, we must build a team. We are not enemies. We are not the acquisitioners who are coming in and trying to erase a lifelong heritage and culture that has been put in here and language that they've learned. If anything, it is essential. It is a skill. So in doing that, we need to become a team with family. Get involved through open and consistent communication with families, learning from them, taking that opportunity to really understand what it is they're going through, what they've gone through, what they've experienced, is also going to allow us a seat at the table into the lives of our students. And we all need those bargaining chips. We all need those little pieces of give, right? So that way we can use them in our classrooms to make our connections to our lesson, to make them relevant. Because what we don't want is to just be preaching why it's important to know English and not give them the opportunity to make those connections with what they've already lived, because they come to us with the whole life, right? Build a community between family and school where the family gets involved in the learning, because like we said before, the importance of having the community and family buy-in for our student is going to be essential. We need them to continue those tips and tricks in learning English. We need them to practice with somebody, whether it's mom, dad, grandma. And the only way we get that is if we become a part of their team. If we make ourselves flexible to what they're going through, to what their culture is, and incorporate them, bring them in. Because this is not an erase, right? This is not a blank start. This is, let's teach you a new language. And how we're going to do that is by taking those moments of what they already know and turning them into an opportunity to teach. Cultural influences, competency, social, emotional needs of EL students. They need to feel welcomed. We know that a lot of what our students are learning and how we know that they're learning is when they build a confidence, Oftentimes they come to us and they're nervous to read out loud. They don't like oral presentations. And that's because they're lacking the confidence in themselves to feel like they are capable of speaking English at no matter what level. So the way that we counteract that is by letting them feel welcomed, giving them patience, allowing them to express themselves in the best way that they can, and then allowing for us to go ahead and make little tweaks, right? Because of course, when they come in, they're going to go from knowing very minimal to nothing to hopefully flourishing and feeling confident in their ability to go out and speak in English, to help at the store, to help their mom order groceries, to help their mom pay a phone bill, right, over the phone. Because that's the reality of some of these students. They will be first-time English learners. And so we need to anticipate that they need to have the confidence in themselves to go out and flourish. And the way that we do that is by understanding their background, link that to our lessons, and give them a place, a safe place where they're not being judged. They're given the opportunity and the patience to learn and go at their own rate, and that the academics are at their level, that we are challenging them and providing them with the opportunities to grow on their skill and not just stay stagnant in what feels okay. So I hope that we hope that this helped you and was able to give you just a little insight into how we in our classrooms can make the difference and help students learn English. Have a great day.